You just walked away from a hard conversation. Your boss, your partner, doesn't matter who. And somewhere down the hall, you're still in it, muttering the line you wish you'd said, moving your hands like you're actually making the point. Then you catch yourself, mid-gesture, and realize there's no one there. You've been arguing with nobody, out loud. That's not overthinking. That word's too small for it. And it's not your mind being loud, either. It's quiet, and elsewhere. There's a very modern reason it does this. You already know what a generative AI does. You type in a few words, and it produces an image, or a paragraph, of something that has never existed. It isn't lying to you, and it isn't malfunctioning. That's the whole feature. It studied a huge pile of real images and real sentences, learned the pattern well enough, and generated a brand new one that never happened, but looks and sounds exactly like it could have. Your brain has been doing that since before you could talk. There's a network in your brain, scientists call it the default mode network, that switches on the moment you stop focusing on the world in front of you. It's the part that runs when you're in the shower, or driving a familiar road, or lying in bed waiting for sleep. And what it does is generate scenes. It takes your memory, every conversation, every face, every room you've ever stood in, as its training data, and it renders a new scene out of it. The argument that hasn't happened yet, the version of yesterday where you said the better line. That's also why it feels so convincing. It isn't built from nothing. Every frame is stitched from something that actually happened to you once. A real face, a real room, a real tone of voice. The scene is fake. The materials are real. That's exactly what makes it so hard to tell you're watching a rendering, and not a memory. One well-known study found that people's minds wander like this for close to half of their waking hours. And the strange part wasn't that it happened so often, it's that it made people measurably less happy, no matter what they were imagining, even when the daydream itself was pleasant. You've been carrying the original generative AI around in your skull the whole time. It's just been running quietly, for free, without you ever opening an app. Here's why it feels so real. Alan Watts used to point out that when you replay something that happened, you're never actually looking at the past. You're looking at a trace of it, sitting in your mind right now. It is like seeing the tracks of a bird on the sand, he said. I see the present tracks. I do not, at the same time, see the bird making those tracks an hour ago. The tracks feel like proof the bird is still there. It isn't. They're just marks, in the present, pointing at something already gone. He had a second image for the same thing, a ship's wake. It looks like the wake is what's pushing the ship forward. It isn't. The engine is running now. The wake is just the trace it leaves behind. And the same is true running the other way. The scene you're rehearsing about tomorrow's conversation isn't a preview. It's happening now, entirely, inside a mind that has never once been anywhere except right here. Krishnamurti put the test simply. Is it the memory of being hungry yesterday that's talking, or is it actual hunger right now? Almost everything your mind runs is the first kind. Memory, dressed up as the present moment. Now, before this turns into never imagine anything, never plan, never rehearse. It isn't that. A generative model is a genuinely extraordinary tool. So is your mind's ability to run a scene before it happens. That's how you prepare for a hard conversation, how you catch a problem before it arrives, how you understand what someone else might be feeling. A teacher named Osho put the distinction plainly. The mind is a great servant, a great computer. Use it. But remember that it should not overpower you. The problem was never that the tool exists. The problem is mistaking yourself for the output it generates. Krishnamurti drew the same line. You need memory to get home, to do your job, to function in the world. That's fine. That's the servant working. But thought that quietly manufactures fear out of an old memory and calls it the present, that's a different animal entirely. And it's the one running the show at 2 in the morning. So if the mind is a generator, running scenes whether or not there's anything worth watching, what do you do with that? Long before anyone had the word simulation, a teacher named Nisargadatta Maharaj described his own awareness with almost the exact image we started with. I am like a cinema screen, he said, clear and empty. The pictures pass over it and disappear, leaving it as clear and empty as before. In no way is the screen affected by the pictures, nor are the pictures affected by the screen. And he named exactly what you do wrong with it. You are like the man in the cinema house, laughing and crying with the picture, though knowing fully well that he is all the time in his seat, and the picture is but the play of light. You are not the movie, you never were. You're the seat it's playing in front of. Here's a way to feel that gap for yourself. Think about how screens have moved toward you over the years. A cinema screen sits far away. There's a clear gap between you and it. You always know you're the one sitting in the dark, watching. A phone screen sits in your hand. Glasses put a screen right in front of your eyes. And VR puts one all the way around you. No gap left at all. You're not watching the scene anymore. You're standing inside it. That's the exact difference between your mind working normally and your mind running away with you. Most thoughts keep the gap. You know you're watching a rehearsal. But some scenes pull the screen in close enough that you climb inside them and forget you were ever the one who built it. Ramana Maharshi, teaching around the same time, used the identical image, unprompted. All thoughts and events are merely pictures moving on the screen of pure consciousness, which alone is real. His one instruction, when a rehearsed scene starts running, was almost embarrassingly simple. Ask, who is it that's imagining this? Not to answer it cleverly, just to ask it. The question itself is what pulls you out of your seat in the story and back into the seat in the theater. Or, if a screen is hard to picture, try the sky instead. A teacher named Swami Vivekananda described it that way. I am like the infinite blue sky. Clouds of many colors pass over it and play for a second. They move off, and there is the same, unchangeable blue. Your scenes are the clouds. 10 minutes from now there'll be a different one. The sky never moves for any of them. There's an old, almost funny story that catches how attached we get to our own generated scenes. A woodcutter falls asleep and dreams he's a king, a throne, 7 sons growing up strong around him. He's mid-reign, ruling his kingdom, when someone shakes him awake. He's furious. Why have you disturbed my sleep? He says. I was a king, and the father of 7 children. Why have you destroyed my happy, prosperous, make-believe world? That's the tell. We don't just watch our generated scenes. We move into them and get genuinely annoyed when reality interrupts the rendering. So here's the one move, and you don't need to remember a philosophy to do it. There's usually a small physical tell right before you catch yourself, a kind of blink, like coming out of a stare. That's your cue. Next time you catch it, mid-scene, rehearsing the conversation, recutting the argument, running the version of tomorrow that hasn't happened, don't fight it, and don't rush to finish it. Just ask one quiet question: who's watching this? That's the whole practice, not stopping the movie. Just remembering, for 1 second, that there's a seat, and you're in it, and the film playing in front of you is not the same thing as you. Nisargadatta said it in one line. It is enough to shift attention from the screen to oneself to break the spell. You don't have to win the argument, or finish the scene, or fix the ending. You just have to remember you're the one watching it. So, next time you catch yourself mid-sentence, mid-gesture, arguing with someone who isn't there, the mind that pulled you into that isn't broken. It's doing exactly what it was built to do. Generating a scene from everything it's ever seen, whether or not there's anything worth watching. You don't need to close the app. You just need to remember, the next time it starts rendering, that you were never the video playing on it. You're the one it's playing for. And the moment you remember that, your hands go still, and you're already back in your seat.